Cavan Scott and Ario Anandito inject a little horror into their story as the Jedi on Sedri Minor discover something sinister under a local village and field, something that turns one of their ranks against the others. Cavan Scott continues to build a fantastic first arc for our new High Republic characters, exploring some of the new additions to Star Wars lore and introducing us to the Drengir, a violent, monstrous race hellbent on consuming everything in their harvest. I really enjoyed how creepy this issue got with the introduction of these aliens, having to speak through multiple characters as it controls them, and hanging people up ready to eat them, invoking a lot of stuff we've seen in the Alien movies or the Alien universe. Keeve Trennis, who is very much the main character of this book, it gets some wonderful character development here as she takes up the initiative to track down this mystery, and I'm enjoying her employing her teachings from her master Skier, who, as the end of the book implies, is turning to the dark side. And while it was something we could see coming a mile away given his reactions in the last couple of issues, I'm excited for Keeve to have to combat him in the upcoming issues and what that will cause her, since she sees Skier as very much her father figure. Ario Anandito delivers more wonderful looking artwork for the series and even more wonderful alien designs in that of the Drengir, whom he brings to terrifying life really well, making them look very imposing and strange. I also want to point out Ariana Mayer, who did the wonderful lettering of this issue with sound effects of the lightsabers or characters hitting or punching one another. It's always fun when we see sound visualized like that, and she did a very good job throughout this issue. Star Wars The High Republic Issue 3 was another fantastic installment that dialed up the horror factor as we are formally introduced to the Drengir, while also doling out a healthy amount of character development for Keeve and her former master Skier. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Star Wars The High Republic Issue 3 finds Terek losing his mind at Skier, screaming how the darkness is coming. Ava tries to restrain him and tries to calm the Jedi down, but he says that she doesn't understand what they have lost. Skier knows that the fool has lost his mind, but Ava says he's not one to talk since he butchered the Nihil in cold blood, as well as lost Seret after making Planetfall. Skier pushes Terek against the wall, saying that this isn't about him, it's about finding what's happening on this planet. Outside the ship, Keeve knows that it's not supposed to be like this, and as a Jedi, she's meant to help and know what to do, yet now she's standing guard as her master loses his mind. Soon some local children come by and offer her some buko bread, reassuring the kids Jedi do eat, but Keeve says that she can't take this and they can't give up their food for her. More people come by with foods as well, asking about the Jedi's friend. Keeve says that the Force is with Terek and Seret, and the Rodian wishes they could be so confident in the Force as well, since their son Julius went missing just before they arrived. Keeve asks if there's any more missing persons, learning that 5 in total have gone missing, including Seret, with some people saying the planet is cursed since their crops failed and the people went missing. Keeve is surprised to learn that the barley is failing, learning that it's rotting away in the fields. She wonders why they didn't contact the Starlight Beacon for help, but the people say they couldn't, and it's not because of the huts like Keeve thinks. Cal Sulman soon arrives, knowing that this has nothing to do with the huts as he is introduced as the speaker of the community. Keeve apologizes for any disrespect, saying that they found a hut ship adrift in space and the crew was killed by the Nihil. The people ask what makes her so sure that they had anything to do with it, but Keeve isn't so sure, knowing that the ship's stores came from this planet. She talks about the missing children, but Cal says the people saying that are just fanaticists and they will deal with this themselves, and they don't need the Jedi's help. Keeve knows that it's fine, but in her mind she knows it isn't, since the people are scared, even the bully Cal. Usually she would talk with her masters, but they are preoccupied, so Keeve heads into the fields alone, igniting her saber as she comes across a strange pit of sorts, knowing it smells foul, almost like Skier's Karkan stew. Suddenly she hears a rustling behind her, activating the other end of her saber and demanding they show themselves. Soon a little boy appears from within the field, finding her sword to be amazing. Keeve tells him that it's a lightsaber and that she could have easily killed him with it, warning him not to sneak up on a Jedi. Shutting the saber off, Keeve knows that the boy shouldn't be out there, but he says she sounds like Ref. He heads deeper into the field, wanting to go looking for his friend and Julius as well, since he knows that Keeve would like Julius because he's funny. Keeve wonders what it is with her and Strays as she learns the boy's name is Bartol, who already knows who the Jedi is thanks to the lizard man yelling her name. Keeve says that him yelling is something pretty new and he usually doesn't do that, as the boy knows that something is very wrong with the barley. Keeve sees a shadow of something as they find a sinkhole, wondering if this is what happens often around here. The boy says it does, but he's never seen one so big, as Keeve wants him to go back to his parents. The boy, however, jumps into the pit, forcing Keeve to jump after him and use the force to slow their descent and bring them to a stop. Bartol knows that she was going to do that, knowing that they are supposed to trust the Jedi, but Keeve says he had no idea how deep the hole would be. Suddenly Keeve is overcome with a pain through the force, knowing that something down in the pit is evil and it's with them and it knows that they are coming. Ava and Sskeer meanwhile find Terec has passed out, wishing they knew what caused his condition. Ava believes that it was the dark side, asking why Sskeer never felt it when they arrived like she did. Sskeer apologizes for what he said before and what he did on the ship to the Nihil as Maru contacts Ava, who says that her conversation with Sskeer isn't over. Ava asks how things are going on the Starlight Beacon, learning they just took possession of the decomposing hut from the ship, knowing this isn't business as usual like he wants to claim it is. He says that Grandmaster Laru wasn't too pleased that they are going to be performing an autopsy that Ava ordered, letting Ava know that Maru informed the council. She says that she'll contact Laru herself, but she's got a situation of her own as Sskeer is confronted by Cal, who knows that they shouldn't be on his planet. Cal introduces himself to Ava, demanding to know where the girl guarding the ship outside went since she has no right to sneak off. Sskeer says that they are trying to protect the people, but Cal says by losing their own they aren't doing a very good job of it. Ava decides to go and have a look, leaving Sskeer behind as in the tunnels, Keeve and Bartol continue their journey. Keeve tells the boy the darkness is overwhelming in these tunnels, struggling to explain the light and the dark to the boy so that he understands, as a disembodied voice says they will all be consumed. The boy runs ahead, going through more routes as Keeve senses something evil on the other side, hearing a scream as she slashes the roots apart with her saber, discovering Bartol has found Seret and Julius suspended in some type of plant. Keeve uses the force to get them down, finding that Julius has succumbed to his wounds and died and become one with the force. Bartol begins crying, hitting Keeve on the back and saying that he doesn't want his friend to be gone and be one with the force since he was teaching him to play bolo ball. Keeve hugs the boy, floating her saber into the air above them to give them some light, as she says that it's okay to feel sad since this is horrible, but she needs to tend to Seret, giving the boy her lightsaber to hold, telling him he needs to make sure he doesn't float away. She also warns him not to cut himself in half with it as she tends to Seret, wondering what the plant things are. Seret weakly tells her to beware as a tentacle grabs Bartol. Keeve cuts it up with her saber, pulling the weapon back to her with the force as she defends the boy, reassuring him he is safe. But Seret says meat is not safe, not from the Drengir, as the creature emerges from the pit, calling for its meat. Terec meanwhile says that the darkness has come for them now, so Sskeer tells him to center himself and come back to the light since the force is his refuge and strength. Terec screams no, vomiting up a strange spore onto Sskeer as Terec, possessed by the Drengir, finds the poor Jedi so lost and alone, wanting him to come with them. Seret meanwhile tries to take Bartol for the Drengir as Keeve keeps the monsters at bay. The creature says that they will nourish it or be one with them. The choice is the Jedi's. As the creature moves closer, Ava arrives, cutting through the ceiling of the tunnel and through the creature with ease before helping up Keeve. Ava sees Seret, saying that they are Jedi and demand the Drengir release the boy and let Seret come back to the light. Seret regains consciousness for a moment, telling Ava that they are too strong and they couldn't fight them. Keeve takes Bartol, telling Seret that they need to fight since they are getting him out of there. More Drengir arrive, saying that there is no escape for the Jedi as the now possessed Sskeer, who has a new plant-based arm, arrives, saying that this harvest will be bountiful and the harvest will be pure.